Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, guys, we're going to be doing a total on my island ranking. I just finished watching the seasons yesterday. Well, the episodes yesterday. And since there's no new episodes coming out this week of the reboot, I just figured why not do this. So, they're all in dislike right now. Everyone's in dislike right now, but that's just so I'd have like them here because, as you can see, there's like some other alternate variations on the tier list. But regardless, you have all the fucking contestants here, and I will give my thoughts on the season, just like the Redonkulous race one, in like the last one in like last seconds of the video. I don't know how to say it, but we're gonna go in alphabetical order with the exception of where's Sadie? Okay, exception of these two, just because like they're so similar. There's no reason not to put them together. So starting off with Beth, I thought she was decent. You could argue she was good, maybe, but for right now, I'm gonna put her in decent, just because like what she did on the island was she was in Heller's Alliance. She did a couple things for her for a few episodes, and then the Tiki Idol curse stuff came, which I really didn't. It was fine. It was whatever. I didn't really care for the storyline. And then she got kicked off. In the whole Tiki Idol storyline, where it was she was cursed, was just an excuse to keep Heller in, which I mean is fine because you do need Heather in the season, but I feel like they could have come with maybe something a little better than that. But I do understand how it is sort of hard to keep Heather in, but they didn't do necessarily a good job of sort of making it not obvious that they were trying to keep Heather in. Not that that's a fault on Beth or anything, but it is what it is. And then Beth went out, and that was pretty much it after she betrayed Heather in the paintball episode. And like she's fine. I mean, she was good at the end there, but like overall, I would probably say she's like decent, maybe like at the top of decent. So there you go. Bridget, I think Bridget's great in this season. Her stuff was she was basically in a relation, like starting off a relationship with Jeff, but except that I do think she was slightly more than that. I just like her cooled out, chilled personality in Brunch of this Disgustingness. I do believe she was really, really good in that episode. Really, really good. Like definitely her best episode by far as a character. It's not even close. And then after that, the merge came where she didn't really do much after that, which sucks, but it is what it is. But on the Killer Bass, she was a very important member on the Killer Bass. And she was in the group, well, not in the group, but she was sort of part of the guys and Courtney by an extension. And what makes Bridget different than what she is in action and World Tour as well? Obviously, she didn't suck, but which is obviously the difference. But the difference is that she had multiple friendships. She had one with Jeff. She had one with like Courtney. And this is the thing you could say about Island as a whole. There are so many fleshed out friendships here that it makes like the whole cast more concise. I can't really say that for any other season. Even like I action work toward in the reboots, I can't really say that. At least not to the extent I can with Island. But with Bridget, her friendship with Courtney was really cool to see, even though they never touched upon that one again. Speaking of Courtney, I'm gonna put Courtney in amazing. I know she wasn't there very long. She was the last like the last pre-merge, I believe. But in those episodes, she was pretty much a main character. She was with Duncan, obviously, and let me just add that Duncan and Courtney in Island was amazing. It's a shame that they fucked it up in the later seasons, but in Island, it was so good, really good content and really good writing for those two characters as a couple. I mean. And then it wasn't just Duncan though. She had like friendships with the entire Killer Bass. Granted, not to the extent she had with Duncan, but she also had one with like Bridget, like I said. She had she had like conflicts with like I don't know. I'm just trying to think of some names here, but even if Harold, I forgot Harold. Obviously Harold. I don't know how I forgot about that. Her elimination was amazing. I know it wasn't technically fair and it may not make too much sense on why Harold would take out Courtney and not Duncan. Even still, I feel like her elimination, I mean, was amazing because of just how it worked and like the dramatic and surprise. I probably watched Island at least like 3 or 4 times now, probably even more in my lifetime. Probably reaching 5 or 6 or 7, something like that. And every single time, it's not a surprise to me anymore, but it's still like, oh damn, that really just happened. I couldn't imagine watching it for the first time, watching it live, just seeing that elimination, how much of a shock it was, because I don't think you could have predicted that at all. So, I mean, yeah, Courtney's just an amazing character. Her stuff with Duncan is some of the best stuff in the entire series in Island, and I'm not even joking right now. But yeah, really good stuff. Cody, I'm gonna put Cody in good and great. I mean, but like he's at the very end of great because I debated on putting him here. I really did. But I'm gonna put him at the end of great just because I do think he was great in Island. Um, with Cody, hmm. I mean, maybe I'm thinking about moving him down to good. I'm not sure though. Fuck. Okay, we'll get to that later though. But with Cody, Cody's whole thing was with Gwen, but except with, and it's not like World Tour where I don't think he necessarily grew with Gwen. I think that, I mean, his relationship with Gwen didn't really grow. I mean, in Island, it really did grow because he was willing to put that his crush aside just so he could help her out, and it really showed that he did care about Gwen. Something that I think World Tour missed. It not that he didn't care about her in World Tour. I just feel like there wasn't enough nice moments between the two in World Tour. And especially because that I feel like he should have put his question aside by that point, but that's just me. By World Tour, I mean. But not talking about World Tour. This is not a World Tour video. But about Island, his whole thing was putting Gwen aside, and I really do like that growth of his character. If I'm being honest with you, I'm probably gonna put him good, but still very good character in Island. Honestly, you could probably even argue better than World Tour. In my opinion, I mean, I think he might be better in Island than Rotor. Maybe we'll see when I watch Rotor, but who knows? I don't know if I'm gonna put. I keep switching back and forth in my head, but we'll just keep him there for now. DJ, um, um, I'm not sure which one. I'm probably gonna put him great for right now, but we'll see what happens here. DJ, I mean, he was a member of the Guys Alliance, pretty big, good stuff with Duncan and Jeff, obviously. But in general, I mean, I feel like he was sort of a sidekick to Duncan and Jeff at times, who I felt like shined more than DJ did. That's not to say DJ was a bad character. I just feel like they got more chance to shine with I mean, he got like less of a chance to shine with Duncan and Jeff. Wait, it's not that big of an issue. I do feel like though that it could have been done better. DG, I mean, but he did have a few episodes to shine. That's not. He did have a few episodes to shine. That bunny stuff was really, really good, and it definitely showed how good of a character that Duncan could have been. But I mean, not could have been that he was. I mean, but yeah, I do think DJ is great in this season. I don't think he's amazing like I once thought because I just feel like on a rewatch, I don't feel like he got many moments to shine other than the bunny stuff because he was with Duncan and Jeff all the time. But even besides that, I do think that he was a good character, great character, obviously, which is why I have him in great. But honestly, I'm probably gonna put Bridget above him though, because I do feel like Bridget had slightly more to do. But it is what it is. Duncan. I think Duncan's amazing too. Duncan's probably like my top four in this season. I'm not the biggest fan of Duncan overall, but in this season he really did good this season, in my opinion. And what Duncan did, I mean, he had his stuff with Owen, Jeff, DJ, Courtney, Heather at times, Gwen at times. He was all over the place with people he was interacting with, and I think that made him really cool. How many people he interacted with, how many friendships he made, and I mean, I even forgot like Lashana, Lindsay at times, and like he had all those connections going on. And I didn't even mention Harold. Like, come on, he basically had like connection with like half the cast, if not more. So I mean, it's what I think makes Island so good is those connections that I think the later seasons like. I'm gonna say it again at the end of the video, but getting back to Duncan here, his stuff with Courtney, like I said, was amazing on the Courtney part of the video, and I do think that his stuff with Owen, DJ, and Jeff were also really good. And then, I mean, his stuff with Harold was good. I don't think it was as good on rewatch, but that's not to say it was bad. I still think it was good. I just wish that I don't know, maybe I just wish they chilled out a little after they got their revenge and I forgot which episode, but they got their revenge and then they started doing it again. But that was just an excuse to have Harold eliminate Corny, so that's fine. It's not bad at all. That's not what I'm saying. But yeah, like Duncan, really good this season. What I like about Duncan and Island that they do not have in any other season with Duncan, it's All Stars, but All Stars did it awfully. Is his kindness. the kindness with the bunny, the kindness with. Sure, he was a bit of a prick. He was a prick at points, but they showed directly that he still had nice in him. I don't think they did that in action as much, in World Tour as much, and honestly, they did in All Stars, but that was just for like comedy purposes. It wasn't really for development at all. I don't think. Well, maybe they did try it as development, but it really didn't hit at all. So in Island, I do think that was done best in Island. His kindness or like the nice part of him was done amazingly in Island. And that's what makes Corey and Duncan work for me is how nicer Duncan was in Island compared to all the other seasons. I'm not gonna say like he was an asshole when Action or Rotor before I even watched them, but like I said, there's obviously a difference there. Eva, Eva is decent. There's not much me. There's not much for me to say here. I did like her in the first two episodes when she came back. I didn't really like. I really care for the Bridget stuff. I mean, come on, that was kind of ridiculous. I didn't really care for that at all, especially when Duncan, DJ, Jeff, and someone else. I don't. Maybe not someone else, but Duncan, DJ, Jeff, and was there any other Bass members besides Bridget in there? I don't think so. Not from what I can see on the list, but maybe I missed one. But like, why was she obsessed only on Bridget? That doesn't make much sense to me, and I didn't really like that storyline. But in her first two episodes, she was good, which saved her from the dislike section. So yeah. Next up we have Ezekiel. Ezekiel also goes in decent above. I can't put this motherfucker above Beth, bro. I have him on my list above Beth. I cannot do that, bro. But yeah, Ezekiel, good for like the one episode he was in. There's not much to say other than that. That's it. Oh, he was good in that special too, though. The total drama island or whatever the fuck it's called. He was really good in that too, and where he like apologizes for his sexism or whatever. So yeah, not bad. Jeff, I'm gonna have him slightly below Courtney here. I don't know though. I might want to change that. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But for right now, he is below Courtney. But even then, actually, I'm gonna put him slightly. Oh fuck! It's so close. I don't know. Let me just talk about. Let me talk about Jeff first. So Jeff, what he did with Bridget was really good in my opinion. The best. Like Island had nailed their shits. Island was great with their relationships. Let me just get that out of the way. But even before that, or even, I mean after that, Jeff had connections with, like I said, the guys alliance, and then Bridget, and then even like sometimes Courtney. Once again, I'm talking about the connections in Island. But yeah, so with Jeff, I do think that trying to gather my thoughts here a little bit, trying to think, trying to slow down for the video. But with Jeff, what makes him so cool is that it was the one episode with Gwen in the tri-arm triathlon episode. Really good that episode. So good. It like showed a side of him that wasn't really shown again. And I do think that he was good in Redonkulous Race, but he wasn't nearly as good as he was here. Because the tri-arm triathlon, that's a bit of a tongue twister there, but it just showed who he is as a character perfectly. And like I said, I don't think Redonkulous Race, and especially not Action or World Tour, picked up on that with Jeff. So, and then he also had like he was a bit like I was a little bit surprised of how much like mean he was to Harold, but that's fine because Harold was being a little like he was being a sort of a bitch by leaving his dirty little stuff on the ground or whatever. But like overall, Jeff was really good, and I'm glad he made six. That isn't really talked about in the fandom that he made six in Ireland. That's sort of a big deal that people don't really talk about it that much. Like they talk about the final five, they talk about the final four, but not the final six. And I sort of do wish they talked about the final six more because Jeff was a really good character and he really did fit that final six really well. So yeah. So overall, I do think that mm, I may put Courtney slightly above Jeff, but it's really close, and I might even change like tomorrow. Who knows? Or maybe even change it when the video ends. Gwen, I think Gwen is amazing this season. In my last rewatch, I didn't like her all that much, if I'm being honest. But in this rewatch, amazing. I don't know why I was hating on Gwen in my last rewatch, but she is amazing. Um, Island is obviously her best season. Um, and honestly, she is close to here. I didn't pull the trigger on the list I made before the video, but It's very close. Just know she's very close to being here. Maybe she will be here once the whole rewatching series or whatever you want to call it is over. But with Gwen, you all know what makes Gwen great in Island. The down to earth stuff they did with Gwen. Her stuff with Trent was really good. My bad, I had to edit for once in my life because I got called down. But back to the video. I forgot what I was talking about with Gwen. But back like I said I believe I said she was down to earth and chill. And with that, I do think that is what makes her such a good character. And her stuff with Trent was good too, like I said. I believe I said that anyways. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to say about Gwen that hasn't already been said in Island. You all know what makes her good, like an amazing character in Island. That like I'm trying to think of more things to say, but there's not really more things to say. And I do think I probably should have said this at the end of the video, but I do think that she would have been a better winner than Owen. And that's just me personally, so next up we have Harold. Amazing again, but he goes behind Jeff. Harold, mostly known for his early episodes in Island, but that's not to say he dropped off too much in the later episodes. His stuff with Duncan and the guys' lines, once again, I think was good. Um, I mean, that's pretty much all he did after the early episodes, which is fine because it was good storyline. And he was very funny in Island too. I think he's better than in action, assuming that I say like I have the same opinion after I rewatch action. But in Island, I do think he was still an amazing character. Um, but like I said, I've already said everything about the guys' alliance and the Harold feud, and even like his stuff with Courtney that I needed to. So there's not really much point to touch. There's not much to touch upon with that. But his elimination was also very good. The stuff with Heather and showing her chest was very good. That's very funny shit right there. And the stuff with Lashana was good too. Maybe not as good as the other relationships, but that's because it really only had like an episode to develop, so that's fine. Heather, she's my second favorite character this season. Once again, very close to this tier, very close, but didn't quite make it. Maybe, like I said, maybe with Gwen, maybe like after Jesus Christ, like I said with Gwen, maybe I'll move her up there. But for right now, I'll just put her in amazing tier. But yeah, with Heather, I mean, what is there not to say? The only issue that I have with her is the plot armor and how they made it so obvious that they wanted to keep Heather in there. That's the only issue I have. But other than that, her stuff with Lindsay was amazing. Her stuff with Gwen was amazing. Her stuff with Duncan was amazing. So on and so forth. Her stuff with Harold amazing. Like, come on. Like, I don't know what else is there to say with her. So like great villain, great villain. I honestly underestimated how good of a villain she is, like in Island, just because of the plot armor issues. But even besides that, like if you push that out of the way, she's a great villain. And I do think that she might be the best villain in the show. Maybe we'll see with World Tour, but right now I do think she is. And I don't say that lightly because I'm a really big fan of Alejandra. So yeah, I mean with Heather, I mean like with Gwen, how much like what else can you say about her that hasn't already been said? And people constantly talk about how great Heather and Gwen are in Island, and I absolutely agree. So everything other people say about them, I most likely agree. So I mean, Heather was the villain of people's childhoods in a way. So and with that, you do have to respect that. Super Bitch and Island worked very well. So there you go. Izzy, I'm gonna put Izzy in the top of great. Izzy, very funny stuff there. Actually, I'm probably gonna put Bridget slightly above her. Yeah. Um, Lashana, just fixing my list on my little notes app here, but yeah, I mean with Izzy, very good stuff with her stuff with in the early episodes was good, but I do think she got so much better when she came back. Very funny stuff there with Heather and Lindsay, even though that sort of came out of nowhere that Izzy being added to the alliance. I mean, that was sort of out of nowhere, but whatever. It's not a big deal. And I mean, yeah, I mean, like with Izzy, I mean, there's not much more to say outside of her humor. If you like Izzy's humor, you're gonna like her, but if not, then you're just not going to. But yeah, so like I mean, Izzy, great humor. Like I said, don't know what else to say about her. That I mean, her actually, let me change that. Her stuff with Owen was really good and showed another dimension to Izzy's character, in my opinion. And I do like how she was like not receptive to Owen's like flirts or whatever after like he was so mean, like not like pushed her to the psycho killer in the Hook, Line, and Screamer episode. So yeah, very good stuff with Izzy there. Great comedy. Got even better when she came back. Justin, this motherfucker had like no lines, so I mean, what can I say with Justin that I mean, what can I say about Justin? Like, let's be honest here. What can I say? What can I say? So yeah, Katie and Sadie, I'm gonna say. I mean, they're in dislike tier. I don't care for the either of them. I mean, I get why you would like them. I guess if you like that sort of humor, I don't. So that's why they're down there. I found them to be sort of annoying, and that's the reason why I do have them down there. So yeah, it is what it is. Um. Lashana. Lashana, I have here or here. I'm probably gonna give. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna give Jeff. Actually, I'm gonna save Lashana for later. Let me do that later. Let me do Noah first over Lindsay. Let me do Noah first. With Noah, I'm gonna put him in the good category behind Cody. Honestly, I've thought about him being in the great tier, but I just couldn't do it because he was in there for so little episodes. But every episode he was in, which was the island one, the not the island one, the first one, the second one, the third one, and then the losers episode, and the special if you want to count that, which I'm not really sure if I count those in my rankings, but regardless, he was great in all of them. But the only reason why he's not in great is just because it was so. Hmm, maybe I should move him up there, even though it was so little. I mean, fuck. This is like I'm having trouble making my list during the video. I had it pre-made, but like I'm second guessing. I don't know. Shit. Um. Fuck. I don't know. I'll just let me do that at the end of the video. But for right now, he is good. Honestly, probably above Cody, just because like I'm a bigger fan of Noah than I am of Cody. So yeah. Um. Then after that would be I'm gonna save Lindsay for later. Let me do Owen first. Owen, I'm gonna put Owen in great behind Izzy. I do like Noah. I mean, I do like Owen in an island, obviously, but I mean, like he was sort of disappeared for some episodes, which a lot of people don't talk about enough. And I do feel like he was a worse winner than Gwen, who I felt Gwen had a more complete storyline than Owen did. And I do get why they had Owen win. I'm not saying that I don't. I'm just saying that I do like Gwen better for like story purposes, which I'm a big story person. So I do think Gwen deserved the win there, even if she didn't technically win anymore. But with Owen, like the fart jokes got a little too much for me sometimes, especially when there's like a fart compilation of him doing farts. Obviously, I mean I say obviously because obviously a fart compilation means he's doing farts. So I don't know why I said obviously, but with Owen, like I said, his stuff with Izzy was good. I just think that I like Izzy's humor better, which is why Izzy's above him. The Guys Alliance stuff was good, but like I said, some of the humor stuff sometimes dragged it down for me. Um, Honestly, let me put him above Izzy, but still, I mean, I don't think he's amazing in Island or anything. I don't think he can really hold a candle to the characters that I have above him. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Um, Trent isn't great. I do think he gets sort of hated on a little too much in Island, but I can see why. I do think he has more of a personality than people give him credit for. But at the same time, he is still one of the more normal contestants, you could say. But yeah, so I mean, like with Trent, his stuff with Gwen is obviously like the big stuff for him, and the stuff with Gwen was really good. So that's why he's in great tier because the stuff with Gwen was really good. The ending was his little kiss with Heather. You could argue that it was sort of dumb for Trent to do that, and I do agree with that. But that doesn't take away from like the impact of the moment, you could say, or like the impact of the storyline, you could say. So yeah. Um. Let me. But yeah, the stuff with Gwen was great. I mean, that's pretty much all you can say with Trent, is because he was sort of overshadowed by Gwen. Obviously, everyone like thinks that. Everyone knows that. So there's not much to say outside of Gwen. But otherwise, he was a great character. Just I wish he had a slightly more independence as a character. But yeah, not too bad. Tyler. I'm gonna put Tyler in the bottom of great. He was there for 7 episodes, and I do think he was great for like most of them. Like if he had a line, he was probably great in them. So that's probably my Tyler bias kicking in, if I'm being honest. But I'm biased for a reason. Like I think he's good, so that's why I'm biased. So I mean, it is what it is, you know. Um, but Tyler, I mean, his stuff, he was overshadowed by Lindsay. I'm not going to say that he wasn't. And I'm so glad that World Tour did fix that problem. But even if he was overshadowed by Lindsay, I do think he still had his moments to shine in Islands. Even if they were like more like, I don't have to say the fucking word, comedic, then they were more serious. But even then, I do think that like he's had some parts to shine. But like I said, Lindsay was overshadowing him. Basically the same case with Trent, except that Trent lasted way longer, which is why he's above him, which is above Tyler, I mean. So yeah. There's not much more to say with Tyler, but yeah. So good stuff. I'm biased. I know that. I don't care. So moving on. So I think I know where Lashana's going. I'm probably gonna put her behind Jeff. This is so close. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm gonna give Lashana the slight edge. I don't know. Fuck, dude. It's so close, these two. I'm thinking I'm gonna give Jeff the slight edge, and the only reason why. Fuck, I say that, but I don't know. It's so close. Um, ah, fuck. Um, I'm gonna give I'm gonna give Jeff the slight edge, and there's two reasons why. One, I think Jeff did a little more than Lashana did when it came to connections. Lashana was mostly with Heather, Gwen for the entire season, and then with Harold for like 1 episode. Jeff had like the entire Killer Bass and like Brid well, like not the entire Killer Bass, but he had like the guys' lines, Bridget, um, Courtney, and he also had like sometimes like I'm trying to reach for stuff here. It's so close between the two. And then the second one is pretty much the big one is the triathlon episode. I think Jeff was just so good in that episode. And not to say Lashana wasn't. I do think she was amazing in that episode too, but Jeff's just on another level. So what can I it's just so close. I honestly may change my mind once like in a few minutes, but for right now, I think I'm gonna put Jeff there. Slightly, may I add ever so slightly above Lashana. It's so fucking close. So yeah. Um and I'm even debating if I want to move Noah up the grade. I'm not saying he holds a candle to these guys right here, but like him and Tyler, like if there was like a complete list of characters and seasons, the great like these guys would be at the top of the list. These guys would be at the bottom of the list. Hopefully that makes sense. But shit, man, I don't know. Oh fuck. Noah was great in the 2 episodes, so I'm gonna keep him there. I'm gonna keep him there. And I know that may not make too much sense, but just know that I do think DJ is light years away of Noah in this season, but they're both great. So I mean, like if there was another tier or whatever, I would put these two in there. If there's a tier between great and good, I would put those two in there. Just know that. Like they're not on the same level per se, but they are. It I'm struggling with it. Hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. So yeah. Fuck. I might have to put them in good. Well, I'm gonna keep telling there. I'm gonna put Noah in good though, just because like he wasn't there as long as he needed to be. I know in the Redonkulous Race episode I put the tennis rivals in great, but there's just so many better characters in Island that I can't really do the same with Noah. So there you go. I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. But the last one, and you've probably been wondering what the tier is for. It's Lindsay. Lindsay is my favorite character in Island. She is so good. Her stuff with Heather was amazing. Oh my god. Her turn that's off the chains is probably like a top 3 moment for me in the entire series. And it's probably the most iconic moment of the series, like by far. Other than maybe like Heather getting her head shaven off, but like even still, I would say it's an undoubtedly #1 iconic moment of the series. Is Lindsay cussing Heather out, and her stuff with Tyler was great. Her stuff with Heather was obviously amazing. Like I said, her stuff like Gwen sometimes was great. Her comedic was great. Her stuff with like Duncan, like very, she had like a few interactions with Duncan, which are all great. Her stuff with like Lashana at points was great. Like Lindsay did not miss in a single episode if she had a line. So, actually, let me change that. She did miss in like Up the Creek episode. I don't know why she was flirting with Trent, but that's just only like one bad thing. That was weird how she flirted with Trent, but that's fine. So yeah, I do think Lindsay is out of this world. My best character in Islands, and I debated really hard on doing this, but for right now, I'm not going to. But yeah, I mean, Lindsay, really great shit. Her stuff with Heller is probably the best rivalry in the series. And I'll let you know if I change my mind in later rewatches, but for right now, I mean, I think it's going to be undoubtedly the greatest rivalry this show has. So that's my rankings. It was obviously very tough, as you could tell. Like I switched Noah a few times, I switched Kyoto a few times, I switched like Lashana a few times. It was very hard, and honestly, my name is like I'm still thinking about doing this to be honest with you, but um yeah, I mean, what more can I say? What more can I say? Um, Island, it is the best season. I mean, like I don't even have to rewatch the other seasons to know that Island is the best season. The connections the campers had on Island, it's like everyone knew everyone. It's like even like Ezekiel, like even though he didn't talk to him, like you knew Ezekiel knew DJ. Like the Island just had that vibe. Like even if the characters don't talk that much, you know that they know each other, and you can't. And it just takes a different kind of writing to be able to do that. And the connections were lost in the later seasons. Like they were lost. Like you're never going to see a Bridget Courtney type friendship again. You're not going to see that. You're going to see characters. And I do like the later seasons. Don't get me wrong. I do like the later seasons. But like for example, the latest reboot, Julia. For example, Julia. Actually, let me not do the just in case of spoilers. Let me not do the reboot. But like in World Tour, let me do World Tour for example. Tyler, because like I know what Tyler did in World Tour off the top of my head. Tyler, he interacted with Lindsay on the other teams, but that's pretty much it. You're not gonna get that. And like he interacted with Lindsay and his team. That's it. Sure, you could argue Tyler was a minor character, so let me do someone bigger. Someone like Owen. Someone like Owen in World Tour. He pretty much only interacted with his team. But in Island, you saw Corny interact with, well, that's a bad example, but like Duncan. You saw him interact with Heather. You saw him interact with like Gwen. You saw him interact with all those people like who weren't on his team. And sure, that mostly took place in the merge, but you could just tell that even in the team stages, there were connections going on. And I do think that the 26 episodes are needed for that. And I don't think the reboot, like the 13 episodes, can provide that feeling again. And I know that's a debate, and I'm not saying the reboot is bad. I just don't think it could hold a candle to Island for this reason. The connections aren't there. I mean, the stuff like that's like don't get me wrong, like, there are connections past Island that are good. But like I said, you're not gonna get a Bridget Courtney. You're not gonna get like I don't know. You're not gonna get like a Shauna Harold again because that was only one episode, and you're not gonna get like a Jeff Gwen. You're not gonna get that anymore. You're just gonna get like for I don't want to spoil the reboot, but it's what comes to mind. Julia with MK, like no spoilers apart from the teens maybe. You're gonna get Julia who interacts with MK, Bowie, Wayne, and Raj, and that's pretty much the extent of her her friendships or whatever. That's the extent of it in the reboot in the second season. And so yeah, I mean the connections don't hit the same anymore. They don't after Island, and that's what I think makes Island the best season, honestly, by far right now. If I rewatch World Tour and I change my mind, I'll let you know. But for right now, I do think Island is by far and away the best season. And sure, World Tour may have more out of this world characters, but I can guarantee you they are not going to have anywhere near the same amount of amazing characters. And it's Island's consistency that works. And sure, they may not be multiple out of this world characters, like I said. And and you could even argue that these two were, but for right now, I'm going to put them back there, like I said. But it's the consistency of Island, how almost every single character is good. Like even Eva had her moments to shine. And I have her in decent. Like even these two had their moments to shine, and I have them in dislike. It's just Island's a different breed. And honestly, in any other season, Noah is here. Maybe like I can't say even here, but like Island just has. If Island is different, Island is just different. So yeah, best season. I sort of ramble too much, but that's fine. I'm gonna see you all in the next video. Peace out, and yeah, hoping new episode next week.